Are you ready, Yoonghee?
But it's too dark, Professor Neil.
Okay, let's get started then. Let's take you into the light.
Wow, what's that? Ooh, it's a huge sun. Galaxy.
We are traveling from the far reaches of the universe to discover new realms and new places beyond the scope of humankind. Well, that is our hobby.
Who's that?
That is our C3PO, translator and chess player.
Wow. Ooh, oh,
Because this
he's
is
got shotgun.
English 2, Unit 12, Part 1, with Iron Man.
Oh, he might shoot it off.
So we hope you enjoyed our intro to English 2, Unit 12, Part 1, which is a demonstration of our hobbies and interests.
Inside the Matrix.
Which is what we are talking about in Unit 12. How long have you been waiting?
For a long time. A long time, Professor Neil.
Yes, since Unit 1, we have been waiting for this moment. Unit 12, our final unit, our final destination in Fast Track 2, English 2. Welcome to the starter. So how long have you been waiting? We are looking at hobbies and interests. And our task here is to match the words and pictures with make, take, collect and practice. And the words, such as a foreign language, here have been matched with practice a foreign language. Practice means to learn something and then do it again after you've learnt it to practice using it.
So, Professor Neil, in this unit, we have to practice very hard to be able to use these 4 verbs, make, take, collect, and practice, to combine with these hobbies, interests, vocabulary in noun phrase form.
Yes, so we have the hobbies. Hobbies and interests. All right, a hobby is something you do because you are interested in it. I think that's the best way. And interests are things you do in your free time. And hobbies are some of those interests. And so the hobbies we have here are photos, action figures, special dinners, a foreign language, coins, chess, pottery lessons, and a sweater.
Knitting.
Yes, basically a sweater is not a hobby and is not an interest. Making it with something like knitting is the interest. So let's match the verbs with the pictures and words. So Yoonghee, we've done the first one, practice a foreign language, where they are practicing Chinese and they've got like a pineapple there. And
next one, I know this one.
Fargo.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that one. It sounds like a place in America.
So I love apple in Chinese, 我喜欢法国.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's not Chinese, that's English. Oh, wow. All right, next one we have is special dinners. Which verb matches with special dinners?
Should be make special dinners.
Okay, so let's try that. Yes, make special dinners. And then we have a camera. So
what does camera do?
A camera, yes.
Takes photos.
Take photos, yes. With a camera, you take photos. And then in the next picture, we have 2 gentlemen in the background playing a game. And in the foreground, we have a lady knitting. And the idea is she's knitting.
But there's no knitting verb, so I have to use make.
Yes, so she makes a sweater. She is knitting a sweater. Yoonghee, can you knit?
Yes.
No, well, that's good. Okay, and so in the background, the 2 gentlemen are playing a game. Yoonghee, what game are they playing?
Chess.
Yes, and if you want to be good at chess, what must you do?
Practice chess.
Yes, so if you want to be good at something, you have to practice it. Practice until you're perfect.
Can you play chess?
You can play chess, but if you want to be good at chess, you have to practice it.
Can I play many times to be good at?
Yes. And so the next one, can you practice coins?
What does it mean, practice coin?
No, because it's not, and there's no action involved.
Maybe I can practice flipping the coin.
Yes, but that would involve the action of flipping the coin. So here, you have the coins, they're a product, they are something you can buy. So if you can buy them, you can
Collect.
them.
I like collecting
Stamps, and you can also collect action figures.
Yes.
And so if you're collecting action figures,
Gundam.
yes.
I love collecting Gundam.
And so that leaves, yes. So, and the last one is?
She's doing the artwork, pottery.
Yes.
She take pottery lessons.
She takes pottery lessons. So, we have those, and now what we're going to do is match them with the grammar.
Grammar time.
Yes, so what we're going to do is, because we want to use them in certain questions, so we're going to match them with grammar. So in the grammar section...
Wow. That is a space station where all the spaceship come and resting.
Yes, for their repairs. So that's like a space docking station. So not related to our vocabulary or grammar, it just looks nice.
Yes, it's lovely.
So
look at those launch vehicles.
Yes. All right, so present perfect progressive. Present perfect progressive. You have present perfect simple and present perfect progressive. Quite a mouthful.
Practice makes the pronunciation better. Present perfect progressive.
Thank you. So here we have present perfect simple, an action in the past extending to the present. Present perfect progressive, an unfinished ongoing action. So the idea is you start them in the past, and some of them were finished in the past, but some of them continue to the present and will continue in the future. So in each case you have a main verb. With the present perfect simple, the main verb ends in ed. With the present perfect progressive, the main verb ends in ing. Present perfect simple, you have. Present perfect progressive, you have been or has been. So you can see the slight variations in the grammar of the verb phrase here. So present perfect simple uses have plus a verb in ed or irregular form. And in the present perfect progressive, there's no irregular. You just have the main verb ending in ing. Also, you'll notice here we have the expressions for 20 years, since we arrived, and so on. For 20 years is the duration, how long something lasted. Since we arrived is when something started. And we're going to look at this with the starter and how we can use these to make questions and answer questions using the present perfect progressive.
So we are now docking grammar to the starter section.
Yes, we're going to the docking station of grammar with our hobbies and interests. So here, let's give you some example questions and answers. So we have you, and you put in the verb in the present perfect simple, and it will end in ed. Plus the hobby. So for example, have you practiced the hobby? Yes, I have, or no, I haven't. If you say yes, then you get the next question. How long have you been? And here it uses the present perfect progressive with the verb with ing, followed by the hobby. And then you will answer with either for, duration, how long something's lasted, or since, when did something start. So let's look at this with our first of our hobbies. We have practice of foreign language. So Yonghi, what would be the question?
Have you practiced a foreign language?
Perfect. Yes, I have. I practice English.
Oh, how long have you been practicing English?
For 5 years. Since I was 15 or since 2016.
Professor Neil, you can say since I was born.
Yes, and we're going to give other examples like that. Okay, Yonghi, have you practiced a foreign language?
Yes, I have. I practice English, of course, and Chinese.
Ooh. How long have you been practicing Chinese?
For 2 years.
Okay, for 2 years.
Since 2020, January.
Okay, that's good. Okay. How long have you been practicing English?
For about 5 years.
Oh, very good.
I was born 6 years ago.
Okay. Do you want to ask me... Alright, do you want to ask me the question back? Because the previous one was practice.
I'm curious about what foreign languages Professor Neil is speaking too.
Okay.
So, have you practiced a foreign language?
Yes, I have. I practice Korean.
Ooh. How long have you been practicing Korean?
On and off for about 10 years.
오, 한국말 하세요?
한국말 할 수 없어요. That's
10 years. 한국말 없어요.
없어요. Yes, 없어요.
It's very strange. You've been practicing Korean 10 years, but you still 없어요.
Yes, somehow I'm like my students.
What? Your students are wonderful.
Yes, they are wonderful, but they're still practicing English.
Yeah, I do still practice English and Chinese.
Okay.
Language is difficult.
Yes, well, practice is important. Yonghee, have you made special dinners?
Yes, I have. I cook roast chicken.
How long have you been cooking roast chicken?
For about 3 years.
Okay, so yes, this question is a little bit difficult because Yonghee has not been cooking one roast chicken for 3 years. The question here means, is like how often have you been cooking roast chicken? Because she will cook roast chicken maybe every Sunday.
I don't like roast chicken.
Okay, but it's just an example. This
Yes.
is just an example.
How about you, Professor Neil? Have you made special dinners?
Yes, I have. I cook 된장찌개.
Wow. How long have you been cooking 된장찌개?
Since I came to Korea.
When did you come to Korea?
A long time ago.
So your 된장찌개 must be very tasty.
Yes, as good as my Korean language skills. So
I don't understand what it means, but yeah.
Sounds fair. So Yonghee, have you made special dinners?
Yes, I have. I cook tuna sandwich.
Wow. How long have you been cooking tuna sandwiches?
For about 4 years, since I was 1 year old.
Okay. I think it's Yonghee the cat. He's describing that.
So I love tuna sandwich.
Okay, let's do one more then. So Yonghee, you ask me the question because this is more personal.
Professor Neil, have you practiced chess?
Yes, I have. I play every day.
How long have you been playing chess?
For a long time, since I was 7 years old.
Wow, you must have been very good.
No, I just play chess. I am not very good. I'm good, but I'm not very good. I'm no Magnus Carlsen.
Who is Magnus Carlsen?
He's the best chess player in the world.
At the moment?
For the past 10 years.
Wow.
He's from Norway and he's very, very, very good at chess. So Yonghee, have you practiced chess?
No, I haven't.
So then you don't have to ask how long have you been practicing chess because Yonghee said no.
You can ask other questions.
How long have you practiced knitting? Have you practiced knitting?
Yes, I have. I knit every 1 year.
Okay. How long have you been knitting?
Since I was 3.
Wow, okay, so you're quite good at knitting.
Yeah, I've been knitting for 3 years now.
Well, that's Unit 12. That's the starter, and we've covered the grammar in it quite extensively. So the idea is now you practice with a partner. So you have the example questions. Have you plus the verb plus ed a hobby? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. How long have you been plus verb plus ing that hobby? For a duration or since a starting date or time. So, talking about special dinners, photos, making a sweater, chess, collecting coins, and so on. If none of these are your hobbies, then find out what your partner's hobby is. Right? Show an interest in what their hobby is. Right? So, but ask them the questions. And ask them the follow-up question, how long have you been doing it? If your partner has nothing to say, find a new partner.
Oh, that is a bit cruel.
Yes, well, if not, I will help you find a new pineapple.
Professor Neil, can I give you one more question?
One last question.
Have you practiced piano?
Yes, I have.
Oh, how long have you been playing the piano?
For a very long time, but not very often.
Okay. So you like piano?
Okay, Yonghi, have you played the piano?
Yes, I have.
How long?
Every day.
Okay, how long have you been playing the piano? We hear the piano in the background now.
Since I was 2. So that's why I play all the piano music for English 2.
1, 2, and 3. Wow, Yonghi, you are most talented. And we are most grateful. Now, you have the words, you have the vocabulary, you have the answers. Now, what are we going to do, Yonghi?
I know. Dung, dung, dung. Moving on. Moving on.
I haven't. That's your moving on song. Very nice.
I created a new one today.
Oh, wow.
Dung, dung, dung. Moving on. Moving on.
To the dialogue. What do you think the dialogue is about?
Today, I don't know, but is this video a hint?
Yes.
They have microphone. So giving a speech?
Yes. Well, giving a speech at a speech contest.
Speech contest?
Speech contest. A chance to win a speech contest.
It's very scary.
So in our dialogue, we have Kristin and Carlos. And so Carlos has been at a speech contest and he asks Kristin what she thinks about it. And then she asks him some questions in the present perfect progressive. So those bits have been highlighted in yellow. So we are going to read the dialogue as usual. And then we're going to look at it in a bit more detail. So Yonghi, if you read Kristin, and I'll read Carlos.
I saw you in the speech contest.
What did you think?
You were incredible. Have you been practicing?
Yes, I have been taking a public speaking class in the evening.
Ooh, how long have you been taking the class?
For about 3 months.
You've improved a lot.
Thanks. That's nice to hear. I've been working hard since the class started.
It shows. I'm impressed.
Oh, well, thank you. So, as you will normally, pay attention to the bits in yellow and take a look at the fact that present perfect progressive has been used. As we did in Unit 11, we are going to look now at the dialogue in a bit more detail. So, first, you can see that the main verbs in each sentence are marked in red, and the auxiliary verbs are marked in pink, and the time expressions are marked in a light blue. So, for example, in the first sentence, the main verb is saw, and the second we have did as the auxiliary and think as the main verb. So, Yonghee, which is the first part and the other parts that are using the present perfect progressive in the dialogue? There are 3 parts. Are you able to offer me the answer to the 3 parts?
Kristin first, and then Kristin second, and finally Colin said.
Okay, so the first one says, Colin, I've been taking. He didn't say I have been practicing. So that's because he didn't have to repeat the question. And then Kristin says, how long have you been taking the class? He just says for 3 months. Because, again, he doesn't have to repeat, I have been taking. So let's put the class in a little bit more detail for our students to see. Okay. So here we have Kristen says, I saw. And when she says, you were incredible, have you been practicing? Colin says, yes, I've been practicing. I've been taking a public speaking class. How long have you been taking the class? I have been taking the speaking class for about 3 months. You've improved a lot. Thanks. That I have improved is nice to hear. I've been working hard since the class started. And it shows it is a long it. It shows I'm impressed. It is the fact that he has been practicing. Your improvement when you spoke in this contest shows because you spoke well and Kristin is impressed.
Wow, so knowing how to use pronouns like that or it is very useful because we can make a sentence very short but still be able to deliver the meaning we want to deliver to the other person.
Yes, so it shows that pronouns like it and that can hold a lot of information and it can be quite confusing to understand. So we're just trying to show here that sometimes people, when they're speaking, leave out a lot of information. A lot of information has to be inferred. So, let's use that to answer the questions about the dialogue. Yoonghee, are you ready to answer questions about the dialogue?
Yes, because Professor Neil gave us a lot of detailed explanation regarding the conversation.
Good. So, let's see if we can answer them. Let's just wait. What did Kristin see?
She saw Carlos in the speech contest.
Very nice. What did Kristin think?
She thought he was incredible.
All right, now for the difficult question. Has Carlos been practicing?
Yes, he has been practicing for 3 months.
Oh, very good. That answers the next one. How long has Carlos been taking public speaking classes?
He also, during those 3 months, been taking a public speaking class in the evening for about 3 months.
Yes. So how long has Carlos been taking public speaking classes? He has been taking public speaking classes for about 3 months. Good. We hope that has helped things. Do we have any more questions for you?
If the question is done, we have to practice by doing a role play of this one.
Oh, we're going to do a role play? Okay, so Yoonghee, you play Kristin, I'll play Carlos.
No, it'll be Neil and Yoonghee.
Okay, alright, so you play...
Yoonghee.
Yoonghee and Neil. Alright, so you Yoonghee, you replace Kristin. I will replace Carlos. Okay?
Yes. So we have to do this one very carefully because this is not about Christian Carlos.
Okay, do a singing contest.
Okay. I saw you in the singing contest.
What did you think?
You were incredible. Have you been practicing?
Yes, I have been practicing. I've been taking singing classes in the evening.
How long have you been taking the singing class?
For about 1 month.
Wow, you've improved a lot.
Thanks. That's nice to hear. I've been working hard to sing very well since the class started.
It shows. I'm very impressed.
Oh, that was quite fun. Let's try one for you, Yoonghee. I'll play the role of Kristin, you play the role of Carlos.
So, shall we change it to the
Fighting.
game.
I was gonna
Role game. League of Legends.
Okay. Hi, Yoonghee. I saw you in the League of Legends contest.
Did you see it? What did you think?
You were interesting. Have you been practicing?
Yes, I've been taking a private lesson with that law game with my friend who's supposed to be very good.
Okay. How long have you been taking law class?
For about 1 week.
Okay, you haven't improved much.
Thanks. That's really nice to hear. I've been working hard since a week ago.
It shows. I'm impressed. I'm not impressed. Well, that's quite fun. I think we will have to ask the students to do that and then record a video and show us what they came up with. That's a brilliant idea.
When you have a model dialogue, it's very useful for practicing.
Yes. All right, let's just recap then. This unit has used the present progressive. The present progressive is split into the present perfect simple or the present perfect progressive. Present perfect simple, you've got the verb in ed, preceded by the auxiliary have or has, depending upon the subject. And if there's continuation, can use expressions like for 20 years or since we started something. Present perfect progressive uses the main verb with ing and the auxiliaries have or has been, and talks about things that started in the past and should continue into the future. Notice present perfect simple is only completed in the past, and yes, it uses a time expression. Continuation with the present perfect progressive uses the ing plus the time expression to show it's going to continue after this moment in time.
Wow, it's been a long journey of finishing
From the
part
starter,
one.
yes, from our starter of special dinners and learning foreign languages. We hope you have enjoyed this unit, because now we are coming to an end.
Or part one.
Yes.
So we'll have a short break.
This is the end of English 2 Part 1. Thank you for joining us. See us in Part 2. Goodbye.
Bye.